Top of the evening to you, D&D friends, and welcome to episode 20 of Holy Rollerz, a 4th edition D&D clerical campaign, where each of the characters can channel divinity, and the 19-year-old philandering bard is sometimes more mature than the 100-year-old vampire making your mother jokes. So, welcome. You never know what you're going to find tonight. So let's start off with a little bit of lore. The Adari Republic, where our campaign begins, has 3 city-states. Horta, where our campaign is currently based, Lair, the capital, and Domer, the home of the Mystic Knights. However, the Adari Republic also technically has a 4th city-state, since Menor Iden agreed to become a loose Confederate state. Now, Menor Iden has a very rich history in this campaign world, and we're going to give you a little bit more information. Far to the south, Menor Iden, the city of spells, was founded by the wizard armies who used their magic to help drive the Jesher Empire out of the Eastlands. Indeed, many credit the ingenuity of the wizard-led armies as the primary reason that the Jeshanese were defeated. And after the war, they founded a city under the rulership of Archmagus Magus I. Descended from numerous magical bloodlines in Menor Iden, even barmaids can cast simple cantrips to make their work easier, and the vast majority of citizens have at least some magical training. Following the conclusion of the First Imperial War, Magus I disappeared, leaving the rulership of Menor Iden to his 4 squabbling, magically gifted children, who bickered and schemed against one another incessantly. 4 heirs of Magus I disappeared recently in the time cataclysm known as the Flux, and the people seized the opportunity to break their dynastic control permanently. A majority council of high wizards signed a treaty with the Tri-Council of the Adari Republic to adopt the knighthood and legal code of the Republic in exchange for the right to govern independently. The City of Spells is now governed by Sir Michael Whitestaff, Knighted Lord of the Adari Republic. However, many still fear the return of the heirs of Magus I. So there you go. All right, now let's get to know our party. Those of you who might be joining us newly, roll call.
Hey everyone, my name is JT, and I play the vampire cleric Anduriel, and I serve the god Nalok. He's the god of shadow and death.
I'm Ryan. I play Lachlan, bard paladin of Sindel, goddess of love, truth, and beauty.
Hi, I'm Jeff. I play Gizik, the hag. I serve the goddess Sigrund, the goddess of witches and hags.
And Ben doesn't do anything because we can't hear him. Ben, you're muted, my friend. Let's see if we can. Let's have minor technical difficulty.
Hi, everyone.
There we
Such
go.
a dragon thing to do.
I hear him.
Hi, everyone. I play Morikon, the dragon-born monk cleric who serves the goddess Himina of light.
Excelente. All right, very good. Moving on. Now for a brief recap. Last time on Holy Rollerz, the clerics entered the estate of the wizardess Lysinopril in order to seek her help in combating the faith of man. As they entered the mansion, the party discovered that the entire of the exterior and the interior was overgrown with vegetation. Morokon smashed the door open and was immediately attacked thereafter by a fungal bloodthorn. Morokon channeled divinity to invoke True Light of the Everfire, which slew the bloodthorn, but also injured Anduriel. Unable to control himself, Anduriel slashed Morokon across the chest, and Morokon retaliated by slugging Anduriel hard in the back, possibly. Anyway, we're moving on. So,
Anduriel was running away.
It's very true. Anduriel healed Morokon of the injury he caused, but the two continued bickering and might have come to blows if Gizik had not come in and distracted them, and Lachlan had not used dad voice on both of them. Mm-hmm. Proceeding further into the estate, the party was nearly killed by a series of deadly illusions, including a phantasmal earthquake and a delusion that made Gizik think that the other 2 cleric knights were knights trying to kill him. The clerics found Lysinopril bound and gagged by tight vines, and upon freeing her, the illusionists pledged to help their cause and rewarded them with 3 magic items. And so that is where we will go ahead and continue for the evening. So we are back in Lysinopro's mansion, and she offers to let the party stay for the night, which, given how eager everyone was to have an extended rest and get their healing surges back, I'm sure nobody is going to argue with. So
It was much appreciated.
And she is happy to have you there. So she makes her mansion available to you, and she also has a discussion with all of you, and particularly Gizik. And she asks you in the course of things why it is that you can't use your own magic to get in to the castle. During the course of which, Gizik, she finds out that you don't really have much experience with ritual magic. You don't know too many rituals. And she finds that to be ridiculous. Go ahead.
I can make potions.
You can make potions because my homebrew witch class, Ryan, and our homebrew witch class begins with the brew potion ritual. So he can cast ritual magic. However, she decides that is just absolutely inappropriate, and she brings one of her spell books and lets you pick some rituals that you can learn. So what rituals do you learn under her tutelage?
Lucky.
I think the first one, permanent passage. It seems
What's
like it
that
could be
do?
incredibly useful. Basically, you permanently break a lock. The door
Okay.
cannot be locked. If they try and replace the lock, it breaks.
Are you sure it's not some kind of laxative spell?
It magically enchants the door so it cannot be locked. I think technically it can count for any kind of portal, but door basically. If you go to the extreme of replacing the entire door, then you can lock it again. But it would be great for getting us into places.
Okay. I like it too. What else does she, especially since we don't have a Rogu, so what else does she teach you?
Steal the voice, which would let me speak in other people's voices with their inflections, basically completely make other people think that I am, say, a leader of the faith of man.
Really?
That's
Do you
very
have-
hackish of you.
Do you have an illusion to accompany that? Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't do something about that green mug, I don't know that anybody.
Well, I mean,
would buy it.
yell from the next room over where they can't see you, and you
But
might
that is
actually have an effect.
Very good.
And the third one I can learn now is Library of the Gods.
And what's that?
Basically, if I have some kind of religion question, I want to get some extra knowledge, I can just, in my mind, have access directly to the books in Sigrun's library
Very cool.
and get a really
Are you
nice...
trained in religion already?
Yes.
101 ways to cook children.
Yeah, I don't
So
know.
if that's a religious question, sure, I can, see
Well,
what
in
Sigrun
Sig-
knows about that.
In
Got to be your version of
Sigrun's
kosher.
religion. I'm sure that's probably a volume. Very nice.
Yeah.
Now, did you also select two that you'll be able to learn later that she shared?
Yeah. I think that Liquid Courage could be a lot of fun.
Okay.
It gives everybody a boost to wisdom if they partake in the beverages that the witch is brewing for them.
Very
And
cool.
Deceiving
You just
Whispers.
pass around the flask.
Pass around the flask. Drink some if you dare.
Oh, it's like mate, dude. We're gonna pass around the mate.
You don't know what's in it. I can tell you if you'd like, but all right. And finally, I think Deceiving Whispers can be a lot of fun. Basically, you have this private, secret conversation, and anybody trying to listen in, here's what you want them to hear instead of what you're saying.
Oh, that could be very interesting.
Scandalous.
Alrighty. Well, that sounds like it.
Those are
all
the
could
things that
come
really
together.
stand out to me as I flip through her ritual book that I think might be fun and or useful.
That's awesome. And a lot of that seems like the kind of rituals you would find in an illusionist's book, too. So I think that is highly appropriate.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. Okay. So one of the things that she does, one of the first things that she does is she goes into her room, into that chest that you saw her summon, and she ends up taking from her ritual book and from her residium stores, and she conjures a number of unseen servants to go flitting around the house, chopping up all the vegetation. And she does it multiple times, and ends up really removing the vegetation from the interior of her house with quite an amount of efficiency. In under an hour, she's got all the interior vegetation removed from her house. It's quite impressive. And so then she sets everybody up in guest rooms. She has an estate, so she sets everybody up in guest rooms, and she also says that she has food stores that she's happy to share with you. She tells you a little bit also about the situation with Bindlesticks and Sargassa. She tells you the whole story of the Redcaps and basically what happened. Her estate served as kind of the central hub in the city where Redcaps were both recruited and created. And so she has the names of a number of people that she promised to share with you who have drunk the blood and who are now in the process of becoming Redcaps themselves. So she tells you this kind of whole situation where Sargassa and Bindlesticks were there. They built the altar, and she was like, "Oh, you're going to build an altar in the front of my house? Okay, that's really trendy." So everybody's got an altar. And anyway, they kind of wormed their way in, and they gradually and slowly began to just push her further and further. And then they had more people cross over from the Feywild, and she was outnumbered. And by the time she realized just what an ugly situation had developed, it was too late, and she was outnumbered, and they shut her up and locked her up. But she tells you that all of the Redcaps that have come, that many of them have been recruited from different places in the city where people are disadvantaged, and they drank the blood and made the covenant with the Piper in order to get ahead. And so some people did that. She also tells you that Bindlesticks and Sargassa have brought Redcaps from Talispoon, which is another city-state, one of the most corrupt city-states in the Eastlands. Talispoon is a city that stages arena fights in the style of the old Jeshanese Empire, which is something that is fairly barbaric and frowned upon by the other city-states, but they refuse to give it up. And so they've recruited people from that city, in addition to from Winterrun and around the Republic. And all of them came to Lysinapril's estate to take the covenant. But by the time she realized what was going on, it was too late. So anyway, so you awaken the next morning, and she's already up and around doing things. She's still checking her house for mushroom rings and other things that would make the Fey crossing stronger. And she's going to be at it for quite some time, because they did a number of things on her property that allowed this location to become a Fey crossing. So she's going to have to hunt all through her manor and all around her manor. But she does sit down with you over breakfast, which she is able to easily provide from her larders. And she sits there, and she takes a long drag from her cigarette while you're sitting around the breakfast table. She blows it out, and she says, "I've been giving some thought to your situation. You know, being an illusionist, you have a deep understanding of appearances and how people think. You can't craft a powerful illusion if you don't know how to jump into other people's heads. Jump into other people's heads. The point is, you can't just hunt down Redcaps. If you want to defeat the faith of man, you need people to see it. The Just Blades, the merchants, that nosy washerwoman who loiters around the farmer's market trying to attract a rich husband." She says, "I can supply you with a location where you'll find oodles of Redcaps to kill." And then she looks and she says, "But how do you propose to get people there?"
It sounds as though you're suggesting we need some sort of a spectacle.
Well, yes, if you want to draw a crowd.
Well, Bard, this is your department.
I think our most likely allies against the Faith of Man are going to be the Just Blades. So maybe we need to use our innkeeper friend to spread the word and have the Just Blades, report something awful like Gizik eating a baby or something, and then they can show up and they'll see us save the day.
I could go to the market and grab something. That usually gets their attention.
You don't even have to grab something. You show up at the market. If you and Morocon go to the market, I guarantee you'll attract a crowd.
Yeah, but I'm kind of short on funds. I should probably grab something.
Grab something? Oh no, I rather like the way this is turning. Perhaps we could make it sort of a traveling freak show. You know, we have a giant dragon, well, a baby dragon, and we have then we have an ogre who's horrific to look at. Bard, I'm sure you could talk them up as some sort of carnival hawker, get a crowd, and then we'll be able to tell which of those people are in fact redcaps.
And you could cover your face in blood like a redcap.
I would never. That is blood wasting. How dare you, sir?
Hey.
You can lick it off later.
Okay. So she takes another long drag on the cigarette, blows it out. She's got a little black cigarette holder, by the way. She wouldn't stoop to holding the cigarette by itself, right?
Yeah.
And she takes another long drag and she says, well, all of that might work, but aren't you clerics? What about some kind of religious spectacle? I mean, couldn't we convince them that a miracle had occurred? I could provide you with some kind of illusion, glowing lights, something. I mean, that, unless it's against your faith.
The deception is more the faith of man's kind of thing. We're the real deal. As much as fun as that sounds to add the theatrical element to it, could we add the theatrics without it having to be tied to religion? Can you make fireworks?
All right, she says, oh, my dear, I've made award-winning fireworks in my time. Why, I can light this whole sky on fire. I suppose that would draw a crowd, but I can't be gone for too long, you understand. Still too much work to do around my mansion. And where are the servants? I have to find out if they're alive.
What do you guys think? Fireworks?
If she brings the people, I'm rather certain we can sort out the redcaps.
Okay, so
I would agree. I would think fireworks would work out really well. That sounds like something that Morocon could help out with.
All right, I've changed my mind. I think it's a horrible idea.
Fireworks are just plain fire. Go burninate the
There's not much
town, and that'll get their attention.
We want people's attention, not child kids. Good grief. Well, Bard, what say you to fireworks?
Well, I like the idea of fireworks. I'm wondering if we should also send a missive to Captain Thoreau and let him know that we've discovered, with the help of Lysinopril, where some redcaps may be, and we've gone to investigate. He shows up with the Just Blades, and if I think we can handle it, but I'd hate to get in there and find out that they've multiplied like rabbits and we get overwhelmed.
Fair enough.
Wouldn't look very good to have the people show up right as we're fleeing for our lives.
Just make sure your missive is worded very carefully, not, Dear Colonel, we're about to go murder some people. Please RSVP if you'll be joining us.
okay. She says, I can do better than that. I can send them a magical sending. Could make it quite theatric if you want to. I could let them know that haste is of the utmost importance.
Are these people savable, or are they already redcaps?
Oh, kill them all. Kill them all and let the gods sort it out. Isn't that what you religious types say?
Sure.
No.
Anybody that's been drinking that blood, we'll just have to kill them all.
Suddenly.
Is there a like an anti-ritual that can undo what they've done?
I don't know. Now, I'll tell you what could be possible. It might be possible to remove the physical effects of the transformation into a Fae with a remove affliction ritual. I can do that myself. Well, with enough residium, I could do that.
How much residium?
I don't know, a few hundred gold pieces. But you see, it doesn't wipe out the other problem. Drinking the blood constituted a magical agreement with the Archfey, the Piper. That kind of agreement you can't just wipe out with a little spell.
Well, we can't exactly go killing an Archfey. So how do we break an agreement?
Well, you'd have to contact the Piper directly, or one of his minions, I would imagine. If you hadn't desecrated the altar outside, you could have used that.
That's a horrible idea.
I don't know. I suppose there's also the possibility that you beseech your gods to do it for you. I hope you're in good favor.
Excellent favor.
This seems to be sort of a bridge we can cross later. Perhaps we should get on with the plan.
I just don't want to be killing a bunch of like mothers and fathers when the Just Blades show up and say, "Oh, look at us save the day," as we are killing peasants.
She says, no, that won't be a problem. Let me tell you the best place that you should go. Robert Machant. He's one of the Teamsters, don't you know? But he's much older, 72. Owns a fleet of wagons. I heard about it when he was one of the first to take the covenant with the Piper and drink the blood. He used to drive, too, but his body can't take it now, don't you know? He took the covenant to feel virile and regain his youth. And then he made his employees drink the blood, purely because he didn't want to lose control of them, the swine. She says, Bindlesticks and Sargassa mentioned that they were all holed up in his home in the shipping district, but they were difficult. Robelair was hard to control, more interested in running his own faction of the Red Caps. By now, I imagine most of his employees will have turned into vicious little beasties. I'm sure they're far too far gone. Not to mention the fact that I've yet to see one of the Red Caps who wasn't happy to take the deal and wouldn't go back on it if he could. But I suppose you can always try to convert them while they're stabbing you in the back.
Fair point.
How many red caps are we talking about?
I don't know. There's Robert. There's his son. It's some thug of a half-giant, no offense, working with him. And, you know, I suppose I saw 6 or 7 people drink the blood. It's no guarantee that they'll all be there, but that's more of a concentration than I've seen elsewhere. More people may have been holed up with him after that. I don't know. I've been indisposed.
What if we were to just inform the Just Blades that that these people are red caps?
Do they look like red caps all the time now? Or do they transform into red caps when they go to kill somebody?
She says, my understanding is the more blood they shed, the further along the transformation occurs. By now, they're probably all vicious little stubbies. But I don't know what you'll find there. I only know that he was keeping his employees around, made them take the covenant and drink the blood, and he was giving Bindlesticks and Sargassa trouble, trying to run his own faction of red caps. You'll find more than a few there, I would imagine.
One other thought. Would you be willing to testify to all of this to the Just Blades if we should get in a pickle?
Of course I would.
Well, let's go.
She says, so how shall we do this? Shall I cast ascending and let them know you're coming, or do we wait until you get there? How do you want to proceed? Would it get out and create a ruckus and then perform the sending? You don't want them interrupting you, do you?
No. How far is it? How long a walk is it from here?
It's give or take probably about an hour, maybe 45 minutes, somewhere around there. Winter Run is not a city; it's a town. It's a large town, but you can get to the shipping district fairly quickly. You're in the hillocks right now, which is just northeast of the shipping district. So it's not too far. It's almost an adjoining district.
Would she be coming to set off the fireworks?
Oh, yeah, she'll come with you, she says.
So let's go there, light off the fireworks, wait 5 minutes, or light off the fireworks, do the sending, and then wait 5 minutes and go in.
Okay. She says, if that's what you want.
Do you have a better idea?
I always prefer good deception, dear. But you're intent upon sincerity and honesty, for all the good that will do a person. She lights up another cigarette by now, puts it in her cigarette holder, lights it up, chain smokes.
Man, she's gonna start asking for spotted puppies next.
Yeah, there's a big old cloud of smoke in her kitchen now, or in her dining area.
Well,
It seems Hemina has lit the path before us.
Okay, so the plan then is going to be you're going to head over to the estate, set off some fireworks, and is that the only thing you're going to do to draw a crowd?
No, I think we go by the inn.
You want to go by the Rose Garden Tavern?
Yeah, and talk to Madame Dimitri and see if she and Ruby will go around and spread the word.
Okay. You want to pull an Abish? Let's go run around. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so run around, have them stir up a ruckus.
The nosiest, most busybodied members of the town, that's who they go to first.
Okay. Okay. So Lysinopril says, so you're going to the Rose Garden Tavern next, then?
Well, wait a minute. What if... We got to think like the enemy here, though. Because what if they show up? What if we show up and then the Just Blades show up? What's the Faith of Man going to do to try to... What if they try to pull some crap and make it seem like we're the ones in league with the Red Caps? How do we...
All right, she says, don't you think killing them will lay that to rest?
It didn't for them. They were in league with the Red Caps and set up their own little we're going to be your rescuers by killing some Red Caps. What else might they do to jack with us?
I would think at worst that they would probably fight alongside us. If their ruse is to dispatch of Red Caps, even if they've set them up, they're still going to fight against them, even if we goaded them into it.
What if some of the Faith of Man were revealed to be Red Caps?
Right. She looks at you and she says, now if you could prove that, that's worth its weight in currency amongst people. She says, I guarantee you, from what Bindlesticks and Sargassa said, you'll find a nest of them hiding in that embassy of theirs. But you'd have to prove it.
Perhaps a second sending to the Faith of Man, indicating that we have identified some of their number who are Red Caps. they would come and join in. They would come and see. It would certainly draw a crowd.
You're good at deception. Was there some way you could trick the faith of man with your magic into giving them away somehow?
She says, "You want me to cast a spell on the whole embassy?" And then she drops her cigarette in between her cleavage, and it burns. She goes, "Ow!" Like that. And then says a few choice swear words. Lights up another one.
Madam.
Okay. All right. She says, "I'm powerful, dear, but I'm not that powerful. Moreover,
maybe not the whole embassy. What if the message was just to Mrs. Waterford or someone that has a... I just don't know what the message would be. Do we lead them out and make it look... Do we send the message that they need to flee to some place so it looks like they... So we don't have to worry about them showing up in the fight? Or do we... I'm just wondering what the message is we would even send to her.
She says, "Do you mean you want me to mislead them so that they won't show up?"
Misdirection, yes.
Do you think you could do that?
Would be a problem. She says, "Consider it done."
Sounds like we have a plan.
I like this plan. Let's do it.
All right.
Lachlan pats Morricon and says, "And before you explode with the power of the sun again, do it when we're not standing by you. Please."
I will keep my distance.
Okay. All right. So she tells you she's going to make a ruckus near the Faith of Man's embassy that will keep them occupied. And then she will make her way over to the Rose Garden, or not to the Rose Garden. She'll make her way over to the Machant estate, where she will set off some lovely fireworks, which shouldn't be too big of a problem for her. And she says then she's got to leave immediately and get back to her estate, because that's a long time for her to be gone, with the border with the Feywild being so thin right now. Anybody, at the point is, she's not sure that anybody couldn't walk through from the Feywild through her estate. And you get a sense that she feels a little bit guilty about the part that she played in opening that Fey crossing. So that is where you find things. Anyway. So, all right, there you have it. So you will... Where are you guys going to head? Do you want her to do her to contact the Rose Garden Tavern, or are you guys going to go there to talk to Madame Dimitri?
I thought we were headed there first, weren't we?
That's the plan?
Sure.
That would be good, because then we can check in on our other friends.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you guys make your way over. It's morning still. A very interesting thing happens when you step outside. You step into the sunlight, which is a very different experience depending on who you are in the party. So you step out into the sunlight, and Morricon, the glare of the sun hits your eyes, and it doesn't normally bother you. In fact, for you, it's soothing and a somewhat religious experience to face the sun. But the sunlight gets really, really bright and glaring, and it flares, and you're forced to close your eyes. And when you open them, you find yourself staring at a completely different estate. You look at this estate, and what you see is a somewhat high brick wall. You're standing in the gateway of this estate with the brick wall on either side of you. And you look at the grounds of the estate, and they're terribly overgrown with weeds and vegetation, brambles, bushes that haven't been pruned in forever and a day. And you look over at some very specific areas on the grounds, and you see red caps run out of the bushes in certain areas, and and then they just kind of like scuttle back into view, and you see them coming out and stabbing different party members from where they are. So you see a red cap running out of some brush and stabbing Anduriel, and you're not really moved by that. But then you see one of them come out and
What, did
and
he
one of
attack
them-
me from the front instead of the back?
no, he stabbed you in the back. But then you see another red cap who kind of drops out of a tree and he stabs Lachlan. And you just kind of get a general idea of these hiding places. And then the sun blares too bright again, and you're forced to blink. And as you open your eyes, the scene is gone. So
Does this happen to all of us?
nope, just to Morocon.
Oh.
So anyway, Morocon, make a knowledge religion check.
Right. It's a 19.
19 total. Did you add your bonus?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So with a 19, Morocon, this has happened to you before. Hemina has blessed you with the gift of seership, and you're used to getting kind of brief glimpses into the future. And so you're fairly sure and confident that that's happened again. Just a small little glimpse into the future. So anyway, Morocon, you are guys all walking forward. Morocon stops and looks up at the sun, and he just stands there while you guys will keep walking.
Dragon, we haven't all day. Come on.
Yes, indeed. Let's be on our way.
Some sort of cleric of the light can't even handle being in the light. What a joke.
Or Morocon. Okay. All right. So you guys head to the Rose Garden Tavern, and you find this early in the morning, they don't really have too many customers at this point. Some people might come by the Rose Garden Tavern for breakfast, but it's not the same bit of robust business they do in the evening. However, you do see Ruby kind of sweeping out the front door open, and she looks up and she goes, "Oh, you're back." And she looks up and she goes, "How's everything going around the city?"
We've made some good progress. We need your help.
Well, I'm sure Madame Dimitri is going to be eager to help in any way she can, and I'm certainly happy to help you, Lachlan, any way you'd like.
Oh, good grief.
Morocon's gonna roll his eyes as well.
Okay.
Right.
Anyway, she just gets back to sweeping it out, and she's like, "Go on." She says, "Madame Dimitri's at the bar." So you guys walk into the Rose Garden Tavern.
Yep.
And make a perception check, please.
27.
18, 27.
14.
21.
Okay. All four of you catch Ruby staring at Lachlan's butt again as he walks in. So, all four of you. She was not trying to hide it, but each and every one of you noticed she's like, bounce a quarter. Anyway, moving on. So you walk in the tavern, and Madame Dimitri is putting up bar glasses on top of the bar, and you walk in, and she says, "Aye, priest, and well met. Welcome back to the Rose Garden. How are you? How goes everything?"
Well, madam.
What does Morocon say?
Well, things go well, madam.
We need
Okay,
your
Camila
help.
brings
Madam
our,
Dimitri.
crosses our paths again.
all right. She says, "Oh, you need my help again? I didn't think you were coming by just for a drink. Although you'd be welcome to share one. What can I do?"
We found help with the wizardess Lycinopril. We know where a large nest of redcaps is, and we intend to strike at them but we need to make sure that the city knows what we did so that we can overthrow the faith of man. Can you help us spread the word so that people will show up and see us with this great victory?
Okay. She says, I don't think that would be too big of a problem. Ruby! And Ruby comes in from sweeping the door, and she says, you need to get out there and spread the word that the clerics have found where the redcaps are nesting. And Ruby looks at her and she's like, well, who do you want me to tell? But she said, tell everybody. Do I have to specify names? And Ruby just looks at her like, okay, I'll just tell everybody.
Well, not everybody. Try to avoid the people in the embassy. We've got other plans for them.
Okay. All right. So she goes, do I have to spell it out for you? Go and tell the other business owners, everybody in this square, and move on to the next section of the city. Let them know that the clerics have found where...
If she's able to bring some just blades along with her, that would be fabulous.
Okay. All right. Madame Dimitri says, aye, we can arrange that. Some of them come in for a wee pint to start their day. Not that they should, but they do. And she says, I can arrange to speak with them. That's fine with me. And then she looks at you and she says, and where do you want them to meet you?
Dang it.
At the Teamster's house?
Yeah.
At the Teamster's house?
Isn't that where we're headed?
Yeah.
Mashant,
It's
I think you said it was?
It's the Mashant estate.
Yeah, Mashant estate. Sorry.
Teamster owns a fleet of wagons. Okay.
The head red cap.
Well, of his own little red cap faction, apparently. So anyway, she agrees. She's more than happy to have Ruby assist, and she says she will contact the Just Blades and let them know to meet you there. And she says she asks you when you want them to meet you there.
Let's see. Do we want them to come, like, just come now, or should we wait till the fireworks go up? Say, wait for the sign of the fireworks.
Okay. All right. She says, that's a good idea. I'll tell them to come a running when you send the signal. One of you is going to set fireworks off.
Lysin is going to be the one who's doing the fireworks, but she's going to do them on our behalf.
I still can't believe you got her to talk to you, let alone perform magic. She's a bit of a recluse, you know.
She's a good woman.
Okay.
Eccentric.
She gives you a look when you say she's a good woman, and she's like, aye. Such a good woman.
Well, we did help her out of a pinch first.
All right. Sounds good, lads. Off with you then.
Off we go.
All right. So she sends you off, and Lysin meets you. She meets you there, but you are actually able to kind of like see from a distance that there's a fire going on in another portion of the city. You can actually see the flames from a distance, and people are kind of just out in the street, and they're kind of like freaking, like, oh my gosh, it's a fire, and the Just Blades aren't organized, and who's good, and the church isn't here to organize a fire brigade and all that. What are we going to do? There's a fire, and they're talking about it. And you meet Lysin and in front of the Mashant estate, and she lets you know that there is a fire, and it's hot, and it's burning brightly, and won't they be surprised when they find out it's not real? So,
what a shame.
She says she set the fire right outside the Faiths of Man embassy, and if they are the do-gooders that they purport to be, they'll probably have a bucket brigade going in no time. A fire is just the kind of thing that they would need to draw attention, and she says they're going to look really stupid when they get a bucket brigade going to toss onto illusory flames.
Well done, Wizardess. Well
All right.
played.
And she looks at you and she says, "Are you ready to start your wee game?" Or sorry, I'm doing the wrong accent. Okay,
Ben,
hello.
you're doing fine.
Yeah.
Wow, Madam Dimitri, where did you come from?
Yeah. All right. So Lysina approaches. She says, "Are you ready to start the show?"
Yeah,
Yes.
let's do this.
She says, "Oh, this is so exciting. It reminds me of the time I played Belinda, the Dancing Phoenix, in Talisbu, no less." And then she looks at you like you're supposed to be impressed.
I'm sure you were wonderful, fantastic.
Oh, I lit up the stage!
I don't doubt it for a moment. Perhaps you could light up the sky now, please.
I want to make a little perform check, see if I'm familiar with that.
Belinda,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Dancing Phoenix?
Yeah, that's a 23. I should know the
Okay.
show she's talking about, right?
Yes, Belinda, the Dancing Phoenix is she's a figure in the theatrical production A Hot Time in the Old Town Tonight. She plays a dancer who lights up the stage on fire and falls in love with a guard captain who ends up leaving her destitute and miserable and whatnot. So it's a tragedy, but she claims to have played Belinda the Phoenix.
Does she sing in it?
What? Oh, yes.
Okay. I'll just hum a few lines of the song for her.
Okay.
Make her feel nostalgic.
Alrighty. So people are already out in the streets kind of looking at the fire from a distance, and there's a lot of rubbernecking going on, and also there's quite a bit of concern because, oh my goodness, right? Anyway, so what happens is she goes into an alley that is kind of across the street and kind of out of the way, and she turns herself invisible, which you would expect an illusionist to be able to do. And moments later, there's a pop, 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 boom, 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 just a little fanfare of fireworks exploding over the Machant estate. And there is just, everyone's like, oh my gosh. And everyone comes crowding around, and there's an enormous crowd in front of the Machant estate now.
Moroccan looks in the direction of where Lysina Krill would have been and just slow claps.
Okay.
Gentlemen, I believe that's our cue. Let's go hunt some redcap.
Okay, so do you head into the estate grounds?
Yes.
Well, should we make an announcement before we go in? Bard, how about you create some sort of, I don't know, great story about how we're about to rid the city of this evil of redcap? Something, do your Bard thing.
To the people? To the
Yes,
people
to
who
the
are in the
people
streets?
who are gathering around here. They came for the fireworks. We want them to stay for the show.
Okay. So he starts projecting. An instrument isn't going to help with this. He'll actually use staggering note just to get some thunder sound with it, little magic, and then shouts, "Good people, we've discovered the location of many redcaps, and we intend to rid them in the name of the gods for this city. Please join us in prayer to the gods who exert your faith in prayer that we will be successful in ridding this menace from Winterrun."
Yes.
All right. They're all just kind of standing around you, and numerous people in the crowd make the sign of the shield and hold their hands over there, and they're like waiting for someone to pray.
I use heart sight. I want to see if I can see someone really devout in there.
Okay.
I see someone with a lot of love for Bestera.
Okay, you scan, there's a huge crowd of people gathered around. There were fireworks. They were already staring at that, and now you're kind of yelling out there. And there is someone who's just, you see all kinds of things. It's very easy for you to spot someone who's just absolutely full of love.
Is it a man or a woman?
You can take your pick.
It's gotta
Someone
be a
who
woman
looks like
too.
they've got a strong personality.
Okay, so you see a gentleman who's about. He looks like he's about in his early 30s, perhaps somewhere in the neighborhood. Got himself a nice trimmed haircut, bit of a paunch to his belly, but he's wearing pretty nice clothes. Looks like he's used to commanding. I don't know, got a commanding presence to him.
Okay, I say, you, sir, would you lead us? There is no wound that cannot be healed. Would you finish that and lead us in the prayer?
Okay, so he pipes. He's like, sure, I can do that. He's like, everybody gather around here. We gonna have some prayer, okay? So and he leads them in the litany of mercy of Vesterat, and in quite so everybody's kind of having this huge prayer, and the entire crowd begins to recite the litany of mercy also. There is no wound that cannot be healed. There is no situation without hope. And the whole crowd is kind of chanting it. And somebody calls out, "Where are the red caps?"
Inside the estate. Now keep praying, and then let's start heading in.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you head in, and the front door opens as you guys are on squares 13, 14, 15, 16, like right there at the front gate. Okay. And you see a young man in his early 20s, dark raven black hair, short cropped. He's wearing really nice clothes, and he's got a pretty fancy sword at his side. And he shouts out, he's like, "What are you rabble doing on our home? We haven't invited you. Be off with you."
No, sir. You are harboring redcaps, and we intend to enter and dispose of them.
Okay. Please make an insight check, all of you.
Ooh, 26.
Okay.
4.
All right.
24.
16.
All right.
16.
So, Anduriel, you are reasonably sure that this guy is hiding vast quantities of cheese somewhere in his house.
How dare he? Hoarding cheese.
The rest of you, when Lachlan says you're harboring red caps, he looks like he's gonna wet himself. He's so freaked out. He's like, we don't have any red cap. The only red cap in here is the kind that goes on your head. Now, you should just go. Get out of here.
I would start walking forward.
Okay. You start walking forward, and he's like, and he goes kind of like back and forth, and he looks at the door, and then he looks at like you guys, and he looks back at the door, and he closes the door, and he draws his sword and stands in front of the door, and he says, "Don't take one step further." He says, "I'm a highly trained swordsman, and you won't take one step past me onto these grounds. You have no reason to be here. You're not with the Just Blades."
I am a paladin of Sindel, goddess of truth, and you, sir, are a liar.
Okay. Where are you? Tell me how
I'd
far
like to make it.
I'll be at like G14.
G14?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what's he at? K15?
He is on square J15.
J15, okay. What's his name?
We haven't asked.
Oh. So we'll just put on here.
You can call him L for liar, if you so choose. Okay.
He's probably the Teamster's son. That's what my guess is.
right.
Could I make a perception check?
Yes, what are you looking for?
I want to see if I can tell if he's a red cap or not. Like if he's a red cap.
All right, go for it.
24.
Okay, Anduriel, you look him over pretty carefully, and you are reasonably sure that he has no evidence about him that he is any kind of bandit. You can't see any hint of red clothing that he's hiding. He doesn't have a cap under him. You also don't get the impression that he's drunk the Kool-Aid either.
Okay.
So none of that so far. Anyway, the rest of you. Okay, so Lachlan, what square do you move up to?
H14.
All right, Lachlan gets to about D14 when Moralcon, you realize that you have stepped into the area that you had pictured in your vision this morning.
Deja vu.
And you get the feeling you get the feeling that if Lachlan walks past one of those trees, he's going to get stabbed. Like something's going to jump out of the tree, and you distinctly remember seeing of those two trees that are in front, a red cap jump out of the tree and stab Lachlan.
Right. Lachlan, stop. I'll holler at him.
Lachlan, he's stealing your show. What are you going to do?
He says, he turns it. Well, actually, they're still close enough. I say in the mind link, what are you doing? What?
Is this the first time you've talked to Moralhan's head?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not. I'd like to roll an intimidate check
Against?
against the dude.
Okay.
Whatever his name is, the liar dude.
Okay, against the liar. Go for it.
Okay. Ooh. So 19 plus 4, so 23.
Okay. What do you say?
Show us where those red caps are now. And I'll say
Okay.
it with a growl.
All right. So you go growling at him and you stop Lachlan, and he opens the door back up and he shouts, Thegarius! Thegarius! And he goes inside the door and slams the door shut.
So now he's behind the door in
In the house.
K14 or K15?
Yes.
Okay.
And the door is closed.
Okay.
Well done, dragon. Now we have a whole crowd watching us not get into where the red caps are. How are we supposed to get in now?
Lachlan walks forward toward the door.
Okay. Morocon, Lachlan is about to walk right by the tree that you saw a red cap jumping onto him in vision.
Which tree is that? Is that the one that's like 11 and 12, like EF? Is it that tree?
It is the tree on square 13 or 12E. That's tree that
Okay.
is right on. There are two trees on either side of the walkway. For those of you who are watching at home, there's a little battle map. They just came in the gate. There are the two trees. Bada bing, bada boom.
I'm gonna stop Lachlan, and I'm gonna step toward that tree myself. I'll keep one square away from it, so I'm going to step to 13C,
Okay.
and I'm gonna tell Lachlan that there's a red cap in that tree. He's hiding in that tree.
Are you talking to me in my head or out loud?
Yes. I'm talking to you in the mind link.
Okay, then he says, then do your fire thing and light him up.
Do the roar, Daddy.
That's exactly what I was stepping toward that tree for. All right. Dragon breath, here we go.
Okay. All right. So Morocon, you are reasonably sure where he might be hiding up in those tree branches, so feel free to make an attack roll.
What do I need to roll?
Okay, the red cap, it's versus reflex, right? What does it target, your breath weapon?
It's reflex.
It targets reflex.
Okay, his reflex is 15, but he does have cover from you, so his reflex to you is 17, my friend.
What if I just want to set the tree on fire?
If you just want to set the
And
tree
just
on fire,
smoke 'em out? Oh.
you can do that too. Is that all you want to do?
I think
you
I'm just going to set them.
Well, why don't you go ahead and roll an attack?
Well, do I see him in the tree?
Make a perception check.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Are you trained?
Okay. Well, no.
Half your
What does an
level.
11 get me?
Half your level and your wisdom modifier. So 1, and then do you have a wisdom modifier?
No.
Then you got a 12.
So it's a 12 then.
Okay. So you got a 12, and Mr. Redcap here is, unfortunately, he's trained in stealth. So if he is in the tree, you can't see him. If he's in the tree.
Okay. Well, I am going to... I saw this tree in my vision, so I'm going to at least just set the tree on fire.
Okay. All right, go ahead and make an attack roll if you'd like to try to hit him. You can still set the tree on fire while trying to hit him.
Well, at least I'll smoke him out if that's anything. And it's just 1d6? Yep, it is. Okay.
No,
so...
that's the damage. You got to hit first, buddy.
Oh, right. 16?
Okay. That does not quite hit him. Did you add your attack bonus?
Oh, no, I didn't. My goodness. Okay. So it is actually... Is it the monk attack or the cleric attack bonus?
I think it's a unique attack bonus that I put right next to the power for you. Hold on, I'm opening up your character
Oh,
sheet
it
for
is.
you.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's a 22 actually.
All right, so you actually did end up hitting him. So go ahead and roll damage, which I also think I put for you right there.
Yes, the damage is right there. So I roll a... Oh, bummer. Well, it's a 6.
Okay, so 6 total.
Yeah.
All right, Morocon, do you say anything or you just look up and breathe fire?
I am just going to breathe fire. It'll come out as a guttural roar.
Okay.
So having no knowledge about the conversation that happened between their brains, you're gonna be like, "For the love of Shadow, what are you doing?"
All right. Much to everybody's surprise, he stops Lachlan and goes, "Lachlan, stop." And then you light up the tree, and a red cap screams bloody murder and jumps down into square 13E.
Oh.
Okay. So, for the love of Shadow, a red cap jumps out of the tree. And, Morocon, you do that. And somebody from the crowd behind you gasps, "He knew he was in the tree! Praise Bestera!" And makes the sign of the shield. And then somebody else shouts out from the crowd, "Well, kill him! Kill him! Don't let him get away!"
George!
Okay. All right. Gizik and Anduriel, tell me where you are.
I'll be back by the gate. A15.
I'm 15. I'm probably 15C.
Okay.
Sorry, Gizik, where were you?
I said A15.
Okay.
All right, and Anduriel's 15C. Okay. All right, so this thing goes, "Ah!" and it jumps down, and it's like patting out of the tree goes up in flames. It not really surprising because this entire area is difficult terrain. So do you guys see the pathway on the battle map there?
Yeah.
It makes a Y. That is normal terrain. You can move normally. but everywhere you see elsewhere in the yard is difficult terrain. So it'll cost you 2 squares of movement to get through. Now, do you see the 2 patches to the left and to the right that are kind of like jagged?
Yeah.
That's growth
Yeah.
so thick that you would have to push to move into it. It's like almost like a wall. You could get in there, but that's even more difficult terrain. You would have to make a strength check to get in there. So he squeals and freaks out. And now, my friends, it would be initiative. Roll, please, for initiative.
Natural 20.
Beautiful.
What a waste.
I have to roll them sometimes.
22.
14.
Okay.
Well, mine was a dirty 22, not some pristine 20.
You still go before me.
You don't get your bonuses?
My bonus is 0.
Oh. Well, there you go.
Do you have a negative dexterity?
Yes.
Oh wow. You're truly stellar.
That's pathetic. We love it.
I got an 18.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Apparently he didn't do calisthenics with his mother.
No, I don't think he did. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I don't think he had the best nutritious diet growing up either.
I just pushed logs around out in the forest.
There we go. Unfortunately, it was not a limbering activity. All right, very, very top. Morocon, it is your turn, my friend. You are currently in difficult terrain.
Yes, I am.
Morocon? He got a 14.
He got a 14?
Yeah, but I'm standing in difficult terrain. Oh, that's right. I'm not going to be first.
Who was it that got the 22? I think I wrote the wrong thing down. Sorry.
Enduriel.
Andoriel.
Okay. Sorry, vampire. Sorry, vampire prejudice.
Okay. So I have two objects, 2 items.
Okay.
If I could just get a quick rundown of what they do, maybe even for the folks watching.
Yes.
I have a ring and a Leviathan's tooth. I switch out my kukri. I'm using a Leviathan's tooth now.
Okay. So very nice. So the Leviathan's tooth gives you an extra +2 to attack and an extra +1 to damage, which you can add right now.
Okay.
Oh,
Alright.
yeah.
And then the ring.
And then the ring that's the ring of phantasmal approach. The first attack that you make, Anduriel, against an enemy, you get to roll twice on. You get greater advantage.
Twice on first attack of any enemy.
Of any enemy, the first time that you attack them, you can use phantasmal approach. It's a property of the ring.
Okay. And it's not an encounter power. It's just.
Nope. The
okay.
first time you attack any enemy.
All right. Okay. Well, let's try the new gear.
And the dagger, you'll find out what it does when you stab somebody with it.
All right. Well, I can't wait.
Sweet.
I'm gonna roll a 2 on my attack. Okay, here we go. No, I'm gonna be positive. Here we go.
You're gonna roll twice.
I'll roll a 2 first, and then I'll roll a 20.
Yeah, there you go.
Bada
Okay,
bing,
so
bada bing.
I'm gonna go to 14E,
Okay.
and I'm going to attack Mr. Redcap with. Oh, it seems appropriate to use. Well, if I'm going to use my dagger, Weapon of Divine Protection.
Okay.
That targets armor class.
So you have a +9 to attack, right?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Redcap's AC is a whopping 19. So you need a 10.
I got a 3.
Okay.
So let's do better the second time. Here we go.
Well, it wasn't a 2.
It wasn't a 2. 18.
Okay. Swing and a hit. Damage. Go for it.
So I just use my die. 1 die 6.
1 die 4.
Well, my 1 die 6 bonus.
Yep.
Oh,
1 die
that's
4
right.
plus 1 die 6.
1 die 4 for the 1 die 4 for the weapon, right?
Yep. Ooh, so you get to roll 2 different dice this time.
Whoa, the triangle and the square. Uh,
I actually prefer rolling the 1 die 4 because it frequently comes up higher than the 1 die 6 does.
yeah. Well, I got an 8. I got 8.
Okay, plus your damage bonus.
Damage bonus, I did not put in there, sorry.
So
13.
plus 5. All right, 13
Yeah,
points
13.
of damage. All right, so you have to come up and run around Lachlan to do this. So how do you attack? What does it look like?
So I pull out, I go for my kukri, and I grab the Leviathan's tooth, and I sort of put my arm on Lachlan's shoulder and fling myself around him and go with the knife and bam, just stab the red cap.
Okay, so you come up
Smack
and
the microphone.
he's still patting out the fire from Morokhan's breath weapon, and he's like, and then you come up, shove Lachlan out of the way, or lightly push off of him. So Lachlan, congratulations, Lachlan, you're a pole vault now.
You're a pivot.
And swing that dagger around and slam it into his shoulder. Now, Anduriel, as the dagger sinks in, you have the distinct impression that you could like push even more. Like the dagger wants you to push it further into him. Your choice, however, whether or not you choose to use it.
I think I'm gonna go with it this time. I think I'm just gonna.
Okay, Anduriel, there is a roar. There is a bestial roaring, like roaring sound that kind of fills and shakes the trees. The sound of a beast roaring that is many times larger than a Gizik or a Morokhan, for that matter. And the roar is so loud it kind of shakes the trees, and then it flattens the poor sweet innocent little red cap. It flattens the red cap. Lachlan, you and Morokhan are shoved away from the red cap 2 squares. So Lachlan, you are moved into square 16B, and Morokhan, you are shoved back into square A13. Anduriel, you do not seem affected by this. You watch as a physical force smashes the red cap into the ground and flattens all the grass and the stones around. So for 2 squares around the red cap area, there is now a physical force in place that can't be penetrated. So it's as though 2 squares away in every direction from that red cap, the ground is now flattened, and it is though a creature occupied that area.
Is the tree still there?
No, the tree is still there. The tree, however, the tree does crack, and there's a huge gouge in the bark of the trunk.
And still burning.
Yep. Anduriel, you are, because you enacted the magic of the dagger, you have to leave the dagger in the creature if you want this force to stay on it.
No. Well, because if the force stays on it, he can't get up, even if he tries to.
Well, not so far.
I think we're just gonna see how this one goes too. We're gonna ride this out for a minute.
You still have a kukri.
All right.
Still got a kukri.
You still do
And
have
fangs.
Yeah. And fangs.
Probably the deadliest of the things that I have. But this Leviathan's too. I'm too shabby.
All right. So smash, big old. He's squished, and the red cap's like just crushed into the ground. Can't move.
Are Morokhan and Lachlan prone?
No, you just got pushed. You didn't get knocked over.
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty. Very good. That was Anduriel. Anduriel, you still have a minor action. You want to do anything with it?
No, I don't really have anything I want to do.
Okay.
With nobody's adjacent to me, right? Since they got pushed.
Nope, they got shoved away. However, when you hit him, they were, so you can still have the effect on them.
Allies adjacent to me get +2 defenses till end.
All right, Lachlan, you have +2 to your defenses until the end of Anduriel's next turn.
Word.
Morokhan, you weren't adjacent. You get nothing. You get nothing but the satisfaction of having flushed the red cap out of the tree, which is really quite satisfying.
Very
I'm
nice.
sure.
Very nice.
Yeah,
You're
very
welcome, guys.
Yeah. All right. Very good. Okay, that was Anduriel's turn. Now, the Gizik.
All right. What's his will? The red
His
cap right
will?
there? Yeah.
His will is 15.
I'm going to try and attack that.
Go for it.
With Bewitch.
Oh.
Yep, that's a 22. So I look over at him and my eyes start to... Yes.
And your eyes start to guess?
No, sorry. JT looked like he was trying to interrupt me and now he's disappeared.
He did vanish in the middle of the stream, which I'm not sure exactly what his purpose was for vanishing, but...
Well, I mean, he's still connected.
Yeah.
It looks like.
Well, yeah,
he's
it
just
looks
like turned
well,
his video off or something.
That's fine. Maybe he had to go potty.
All right.
Potty emergency. That's fine.
Ignoring that. Okay, so my eyes start glowing green and I stare really hard at that red cap and his head kind of gets forced to look over at me and I am going to slow him down a little bit.
Okay.
His reaction speed is not as good, and he will take a -2 penalty to his AC. He will not be quite as good at getting out of the way of our attacks.
Well, he's already prone, so he has...
I say
You've already got combat advantage against him. And, like, I feel I'm squished and I'm slow. This is just a terrible day. It's really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
So
I
you're saying
can't...
Hide out in the tree by the front gate, they said. It'll be fine, they said. Nobody will ever find you there, they said.
All right. Well, so I can't actually walk up close to him because of that giant force.
Yep.
I will attack him with Sap the Soul then. This is versus Fortitude, though.
Okay. His fortitude is only 16. Only.
Well, that's an 11, so
Okay.
I'll call that good for my turn.
All right. Lachlan, do you want to do anything about that 11, or are we calling it good?
I think this guy's well in hand.
Okay. You think? Okay. Alrighty. That was the Gizik's turn. Lachlan, it's your turn, my friend.
All right, I'm going to use Staggering Note. And it's versus Will.
Okay. His will is 15.
Okay, that's a 23. So
Okay.
he'll take 5 points of thunder damage, and Duriel can make a free melee basic attack.
Get him, Anduriel. Get him. Anduriel, you have combat advantage, so because he's prone. But Gizik all lowered his AC, so his AC to you is only 15.
Ooh, I got a 17.
That hits.
All right, and then just regular weapon damage. Ooh, can I use my kukri instead and leave the Leviathan's tooth in the guy, or do I have to remove it to attack?
No, nope, you're fine. You're the only one who's not affected by the magic of the dagger, so you can attack with your kukri.
Okay. So that is 7 points of damage.
Okay, did you roll the 1d6 and add your damage bonus?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. All right. Anduriel, there is really nothing he can do about that. Because he's just kind of stuck there. So he's flattened into the ground, and Gizik goes and makes it so he's like moving in slow motion. And then you dart in there. You've already done it. You leave it in him, draw your kukri, and he's like, and where do you stab him?
I stab him right in the shoulder right there. Just
Okay, so you stabbed him with the dagger is stuck in his one shoulder, and you stab him with your kukri in the other.
hit him like an insect specimen in a museum.
Okay, Anduriel, you are really, really enjoying this, and the desire to wipe his blood all over you is pretty strong. I'm just letting you know.
Dang it.
You're gonna have a hard time resisting on your next turn, Anduriel, if you don't wash up, shall we say.
How does it compare to his desire to drink the blood?
It's about the same.
Well,
He's gonna be like that vampire countess who bathed in the blood of virgins. He's gonna drink. I mean, it's gonna be like it's a smorgasbord all over here. Okay, moving on. That was Lachlan.
No, that was me. So I've still got to move in a minor.
Okay.
I want to make a perception check in that other tree, as well as just some of the surrounding areas. Look for any more red caps.
Go for it.
That's 24.
All right. There is a hint of another red cap, like the red cloth, and you see an arm on a branch in that other tree. You also catch some movement to the right of you in that thick area that would be hard to get into.
Okay. In the mind link, I will then say, I don't need to move, so I'll just say to everybody, we got another red cap in the other tree and one in that bramble.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's your minor action. And are you going to move anywhere? Right now you're in difficult terrain, Lachlan.
Yeah,
And-
I'll just move back on the path. I'll move I'll move in front of Gizik. B15.
Alrighty. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, very good. That is the Lachlan. Morocon, it is your turn, my friend.
Okay, well, Anduriel made quite the spectacle with pushing us out of the way with that tooth.
He really did make quite the spectacle. And there's the screaming of the dagger. I mean, it was all big, bold, beautiful move.
Somebody needs to ask the crowd if they're not entertained, right?
It would be appropriate.
Because that was quite the spectacle, I want to, you know what? No, I'll do something else. Okay. I'm going to move over to, can I move to E17?
Move to E17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, you'd be moving through difficult terrain. So each square costs you two moves, basically. 2 squares of movement. Your speed is 6. So the furthest you can get if you go up that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is D16 or D17. That's the furthest you can get.
Okay. Well, then I will do this difficult terrain. Yeah, I will do that.
Okay.
And I would like to make a perception check at Anduriel after making quite the spectacle of slamming a tooth into a dude's arm.
Uh-huh. You want to
This
make
is
a
not going to
perception
end
check.
well, I think.
You want to make a perception check on Anduriel, like you're checking him out in the middle of the battle?
Well, I want to see on what Anduriel did. I want to try to see what he
Accounting for
did.
taste.
Slam that in there. See if I can make some understanding of what exactly happened there.
Okay. All right. You don't need to make a perception check because you saw the dagger used in battle last time. Sargassa used the dagger against one of you.
Okay.
So you recognize the flattening presence like a giant stomped somebody. But if you want to make a perception check to spot other red caps or look around, you can do that.
Yeah, I'm going to try that. It's not going to go well, I'm sure, but I'm going to see what I can do.
Well, you're not trained, and that's an issue. But
Yes, this is true.
so you get to add 1 to the 1 die 20. Go for it.
Okay, well, what does a 7 get me?
A pat on the back and an honorable mention.
Yay!
Let me
You see
check.
cheese hanging off of one of the tree branches?
You are reasonably sure that there's cheese up in that tree, but that's about it. Yeah, Morocon, you spot nothing.
Well, okay. Lachlan
could
did
ready
say
an
that there was a
action.
dude up there, so. Yeah, I'm going to ready an action.
Okay, so Morocon, you move up there, and with your minor action, you make a perception check and you find cheese, and then you ready an action. So if anything comes near you, you can pound on it.
What? So Am I wearing that amulet by chance? Do I have that piece of gear?
Yes, you are.
What all does that give me for
So-
everybody at home?
What that amulet does is it will provide you with extra protection. It raises all of your defenses, not your AC, but your fortitude, reflex, and will. It raises by 2.
Okay.
And then you will get to save earlier in the round if anybody tries to charm you or daze you or make you feel bad about your heritage and your mom. Anybody attempts that whatsoever, you get to save at the beginning of your turn rather than the end, so you wouldn't lose your turn.
How dare they? Well, that's a good thing to have. Okay.
It's a very good thing to have.
Yes, it is. All right. Well, then I am just going to. I'm going to prepare. I'm going to prepare a sacred shielding.
Okay. All right. So if anything comes within range of you, you can use Sacred Shielding or another attack you want on it.
Right.
Alrighty, that is the Moral Con. Now it is the Red Cap who rolls last. Well, for his turn, Anduriel, he is going to take a swipe at you.
Very slow moving swipe.
A very slow moving swipe. He has. I'm giving him advantage because he's pretty much pinned. So, Anduriel, what's your AC?
Well, is he bloodied?
Is he bloodied? Is he bloodied? Yes, he is. He is bloodied, my friend.
Okay, 15.
All right. So I'm giving him disadvantage. All right, Anduriel, he's pinned and he's moving slowly. He tries to swipe at you with a claw, and it looks kind of like this. That's about it. It's about as far as he gets. He's like lifting against the forest, going like that, and it's pretty comical. Anduriel, say anything to him or make any expressions or?
He's like, I like this blade.
Okay. Alrighty. All right, so that is his turn. However, Moral Con, a red cap jumps down into square 17E and goes to take an attack on you. However, you had a readied action, Moral Con. So he's not expecting.
I do.
He's not expecting to get whacked, so feel free to whack him with the standard attack of your choice.
All right. Let's do this. Standard attack?
Any one of your attacks.
Okay. Then I'm going to use 5 storms.
Okay.
Actually, I prepared sacred shielding, didn't I?
Yes, but you could use 5 storms if you wanted to.
Okay.
5 storms would normally let you shift. If you were planning to shift, well, no, it won't in this case. But you prepared sacred shielding, so 5 storms is a burst 1 attack, and there's only 1 attacking you. So you don't really need to attack multiple people around you. But you can do it if you want to. If you don't want to use your encounter power, you're welcome to.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna use 5 storms.
Okay. All right.
Target's reflex. What do I need to roll?
His reflex is 15, so roll the die and add your monk attack bonus.
Yeah. I need a 15?
Yep.
Okay. Well, that doesn't hit. I rolled a 6.
That
you
is
know what? Actually, I'm going to use foretelling.
Okay.
I'll use I rolled so I will have rolled a 9 with foretelling.
Okay.
Which brings me to 15.
That's all you need. All right. So you sock him. Are you going to use Stone Fist?
Absolutely.
All right. So roll the 1d8, which is your damage die. Add your monk damage bonus plus 6, so plus 10 total.
Ooh, I rolled an 8 plus 10, so 18.
Oh, he loves you.
Oh, I bet he does. He
wants to
thinks
kick
he
out.
surprised me, and I just sucker punched him.
Okay, so he leaps out of the tree, and what does it look like when you hit him?
So he's basically going to leap out of that tree, and before he hits the ground, I'm basically just going to Hadouken!
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so Morokhan, you see him jump out of the tree in your mind's eye before he actually jumps, and you're like, "Come to Papa." So he leaps out of the tree, and you uppercut him, and he goes, "Ah! Oh!" Boom! And you uppercut him. He drops down, and he like two of his teeth fall out. And you're enormous, and he looks up at you, and he hisses at you in like this guttural hissing thing. His little floppy pointed goblin ears, shaking with his head as he spits out teeth and blood. And he looks up at you, and he's going to use his clinging bite, or he's going to try to. What's your AC, Morokhan?
14.
All right, he got you with a 19.
Of course he did.
So armor class is not your strong point, but that's okay.
No, it is not.
All right. You only take 8 points of damage. You take fewer than that. You take 6 points of damage.
Oh, good.
And the red cap moves into your square and climbs up your back.
Oh, this isn't going to end well for him, but okay.
Ew, gross.
Okay. So he uses clinging bite. So he climbs up your back, Morokhan, and you're like, and he bites into your shoulder, and like he's gnawing at some of your scales, and some of your scales he's like trying to tear them off with his teeth, and blood spurts, and it's generally an unpleasant sensation overall. So that is what happens there, and I will also tell you that a red cap comes out of the hedge to the right, out of the overgrowth, Gizik, and it double moves to get near you on square 16A. And Lachlan, another one comes out and moves 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and gets into square B10. So two more red caps come out of the hedge where they were hiding, and one of them gets you, Gizik, but that's pretty much, I think, all he's going to be able to do on his turn.
Took a lot of effort to get to him, so.
Well, it's difficult terrain for them too, unfortunately, and neither one of them seems to have forest walk, so they're not able to do anything about that. Alrighty, now back up to the top. The front door opens. So the front door opens, and out steps this absolutely enormous looking like gentleman. He's dressed in kind of this butler's outfit, but he doesn't look altogether human. In fact, he looks a little bit like Gizik. You think he might have some kind of giant blood. And he steps out, and he's wearing this green suit, and this green butler-looking suit, fancy black boots that have been polished to a shine, and not really fitting the situation. Over his shoulder, he has a huge, jagged club that looks like he just ripped off a tree branch, except there are nails sticking out of it. And he looks, and he says, "The master told you to leave." And he goes running towards Anduriel, and he slams right into that little force area. So he stops in square 15H. And he's like, "Ugh!" And then he takes his club and he swings it up against the force, and there's a shuddering like in the air around the area, and he starts whacking this club. And Uriel, when he strikes the force exerted by the Leviathan's tooth, it shudders and it reverberates, and you feel it. If he hits you with this club, it's gonna hurt really, really bad. Just letting you know. And he goes, boom, and he whacks it again. He goes, "The master told you to leave." Boom, and he hits it again. And that's unfortunately his turn. And the young gentleman with the very nice little sword and the fancy outfit with the short black hair. He steps out of the doorway into square J16. And just kind of looks around, and he looks like perhaps he's waiting for someone to approach him before he does something. Anduriel, it is your turn, my friend.
Okay. Anduriel doesn't have a lot of interest in removing the Leviathan's tooth right now. He's pretty comfortable with where it's at. So he's gonna attack the red cap number 1 again. This time he's going to use Taste of Life.
Okay. What does it target?
Target's Fortitude.
All right. His fortitude is 16, but he's prone, so it's 14.
Vampire attack, so I get a +6. 18.
That'll do.
Whew, okay. And I'm going to trigger Blood Drinker. This.
Seems appropriate.
Yeah, it seems the thing to do. 1d8.
Does he do it like a dog though? Like
Okay,
get it all over his face?
No.
Interesting that you should bring that up, Laughlin, but let's handle the damage first, shall we?
That 23 points of damage.
Okay. 23 points of damage. Anduriel, you slay him. Now, Anduriel, you come in, and where do you bite him? What does it look like?
Okay, so he's pinned to the ground with both of my weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And so Anduriel just sort of lazily walks over, and with his boot turns his head to one side, and then quick as lightning flashes down and just bites him in his neck and takes a few guzzles.
Okay, so you come towards him, Boobus, and he's looking at you like, no! And you sink your fangs into his neck, and you drain out his life's blood, and he just goes limp under you. There is gasping coming from a few places in the crowd behind you. And Anduriel, I need you to make an endurance check, my friend.
Right. This is going to be really great. I can tell.
Well, it depends on how you roll.
Oh, a natural 20.
Okay. Anduriel, you are drinking his blood, and you feel this incredible urge to wipe it all over yourself and bury your face in it. So you're like, but you manage to pull away before you make your feast into a messy feast.
What's wrong with me? I can't do this. There'd be no living with a dragon after this.
I know what's wrong. Tell me. Anyway. Okay.
He's suddenly a lot thirstier and wants to drink all the blood inside him.
Okay.
I'm not a blood waster. Why in the... Oh, boy.
I know. You're fancy feast here, dude. You don't waste it. Okay. Moving on. Anduriel, you still have a minor action. Is there anything you'd like to do? And a move, right? You haven't moved either.
Yeah, I have a move and a minor.
Okay. Anduriel, the force exerted by your dagger dissipates.
Right.
So if you want to pick up your dagger, you'll need to use a minor action to do it.
I will do said thing.
All right. So your minor action, you pick up your dagger, you still have a move.
Oh, poop.
Poke it into the big dude.
I would not recommend using your move action to poop. I'm just saying.
It's been a while.
I'm just saying.
Hey, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm
I'm just saying, the crowd's watching, okay?
H9.
You're going to move into H9?
Yeah.
So
right, that
far away from everybody.
Anduriel, are you going to provoke an attack of opportunity from that large butler?
Well, if I cross through, that was my question. So 13G is half in, half out.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if I could sneak through that area, and I wouldn't take an attack of opportunity at that point since he's in 15H.
No, it's still difficult terrain. However, it will cost you 2 squares to do that.
What if I acrobatics over it?
You want to jump over it? Go for it.
Oh,
I'll give you a DC 13.
I'm trained in a 9, so that's an 11 plus 9, so 20.
Okay, so you are easily able to skirt the edge of that square and kind of just spin around through the square. It doesn't impede you.
Okay. We'll see how much good it does me, but at least it's something.
All right, so Anduriel winds up in square H9.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to use your action point, or are you done?
I'm done. I should ready an action to run away like a little girl, but I'm going to keep my faculties about me.
Okay. And for those of you who are female watching Holy Rollerz, running away like a little girl, he's probably referring to one of my little girls who run away in a very distinct fashion. I'm sure.
Yes, actually, that's true. My apologies. Run away like a little scared person.
Like a scared person whose gender is indeterminate.
Yes. Boy or girl.
Yeah.
If you got that club staring you down, you want to.
And not a little person like a dwarf.
No. That's insane.
Oh my gosh.
Can we edit this out in post, maybe?
There's not. Ladies and gentlemen,
There's no post.
Are equal. You know what? I don't have anything to say to cut. Moving on. Okay. So.
We do not edit. Sorry.
All right. You know, some things are going to happen in a stream of all boys. Okay, deal. So moving on. All right, that's Anduriel's turn. Gizik, my friend, it is your turn. The force that was exerted by the Leviathan's tooth is gone. However, you do have a red cap in front of you, Gizik.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to bewitch him.
You will provoke an attack of opportunity.
Not with my staff expertise.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. Correcting me again. You said that last time. But maybe it's just fun for me to let you announce that, too.
All right, so that's a 22 versus Will.
Okay, get him.
And same thing as last time. I stare at him. He's kind of forced to turn towards me, and he's slowed down a bit, not reacting to my attacks very well. -2 to AC.
Alrighty. Very nice.
I think I'm also going to... Yeah, I'll just attack him with Hag's Hunger.
Okay.
That's... One attack is a 28. The other one is a natural 1.
Ugh. Okay, yeah, there's not much... So you do hit with 1.
Yeah, okay, so...
What does that look like? That's...
Yeah, Gizik, what does that look like? Because you hit me with both.
You're right. I did. And I was... Okay.
Yeah.
Little minor confession, I was slightly disappointed that you still had 3 hit points. It was just such a good attack. It would have been like just so...
Yeah, that's great.
Kind of funny if you had dropped.
The party infighting at Holy Rollerz has now moved on to wishes to harm each other even further.
You know, he was a knight. He was not himself when I attacked him.
He was a knight. Yeah, you did think he was a knight. Okay.
I mean, he was himself. I just didn't know that.
Very true.
How
much damage for your hit?
Oh, yes. Let me roll that.
That's going to be your excuse every time you hit us now. I thought you were a knight. Sorry.
And you'll never know. Yeah, so that's 13 damage.
Okay. Oh, he hates that. All right. So what does it look like when you attack him, Gizik?
Oh, yes, that's how we started that conversation.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got my kind of mystic claws out on my hands. I just do one really big swipe kind of right across his shoulder and down his chest a little bit, and then I try and swing with the other one, and I'm a little off balance, and I completely miss him.
He spins all the way around.
Sure. I go for this really strong swing, and I miss and just do a complete, like a pirouette.
All right, so you claw down the side of his shoulder, and then you're like trying to get over the other, and it just doesn't work out for you. But He squeals as you claw. He's like, "Ah!" Like as you make contact with him. Nasty little buggers, and that would be the Gizik's turn. Anything else you want to do, Gizik? You good to go?
Yeah, that's good.
All right, that's Gizik's turn. Lachlan, my friend, it's your turn. There's a red cap in front of you.
Yes, there is. But I'm really worried about that club guy.
You are, huh?
Well, I'm hoping
He's clubbing.
I'm hoping his proximity to Anduriel for that moment might be enough that he looks juicier.
Well, Anduriel did just take out one of the red caps. You have yet to do anything that impressive. No offense.
No, I'm gonna use Virtuous Strike and smack this red cap because he's at a penalty to AC, right?
Yes, he's at a -2. So his AC to you, my friend, is only going to be a 17.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 17, so that'll do.
That'll do, pig. That'll do.
So he's gonna take 13 points of radiant damage.
Okay. What does that look like?
It's just he's using his longsword. He's using it two-handed, and he just very gracefully does a couple of flourishes over his head, and then just slices right across the body.
Okay, so
And
Lachlan,
holds it back like this, like as if he's fighting something more elegant than this little savage.
that's fantastic. So your form is perfect, and back in the crowd, some of the people hold up signs. They're like 7, 8. Like,
The Russian judge holds up a 2.
yeah.
And so for my minor and my move action, I want to start singing one of the best Terran hymns, like an Onward Christian Soldiers style hymn. Not nothing too solemn, but kind of like a war song.
Okay. All right. So, you start that on. Make a performance check, Lachlan. Let's see how well your song rings out.
Oh, it's always fabulous.
It is a 25.
Oh, dang. Joyful, joyful Lord, we adore. All right, so people in the crowd are way galvanized by this, and they pick up the song, and pretty soon most of the crowd seems to be singing this joyful, joyful Onward Christian Soldier song. And they're singing it with gusto, and as you make contact with your sword, there's a cheer from the crowd. They're like, yay! Little bit less of a cheer when Anduriel bites the throat out of the other one. But they also...
There will at least be like 2 people who are like, good job.
Does he sparkle? No, there's no... That's not...
You're all next.
Yeah. So, oh, jeez. Okay.
Chair.
For some reason, the crowd likes the godly powers a little bit more than the, monster.
Monstrous. Well, consider where you are.
That's
Okay, very good.
That's all right.
That would be the Lachlan's turn. Morocon, my friend, it is your turn.
Alrighty. I'd like to make a saving throw to get this little dude off my back.
You mean an escape check. Go for it, okay?
Okay, what do I need?
All right, so you need to make you can make a dexterity check, or you can escape check, or you can make a strength check. Which would you prefer?
I would like to make I'll make a dexterity check.
All right, go for it. Roll the 1d20, add half your level, which is 1, and your dex bonus.
Okay, so 21.
Okay. All right. You managed to get him off of your back. What square do you want to drop him into?
I would like to drop him into C16.
C16. Okay.
I'd like to move him a little closer to the group.
Alrighty.
And then I'd like to make an athletics check and move to B16 to be right in between the two of them. B17.
Okay. B17 would put you diagonal, not between them. Is that what you want?
They're still within range.
Oh, cool.
Do
So
I
we've
need
got
an athletics check, or can I
You got
just
one
move?
in A16 and one in C16, right?
Yep.
Right.
You could
Yes,
just,
all right.
just you could just move one square though, and then be in flank and get that +2 to attack.
So just FYI, we have somebody in chat named It's Cliff Gaming who is raiding our chat with 7 people. So that's when you, on Twitch, when you raid, you bring a bunch of people in. So, hi, It's Cliff Gaming. How are you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for coming by, dude. We love you. Thanks for showing up.
Cliff Gaming.
It's Cliff Gaming,
What's up?
no less. Welcome. We are just about to watch Morocon, I'm assuming, smash someone into the ground. All right, Morocon, my friend, you are more than capable of making that check. Make an athletics check for me, and if you get about a 17, I'll let you vault over this thing and land in between them if you want, or diagonal.
All right. Right. Well, I'm worried that if I do 5 storms, that I'm going to be doing damage to both Gizik and Lachlan at the same time, since they're
You're
all
not.
adjacent to me.
That's enemies.
Yeah, it only
It's
targets
just enemies.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. I'm still going to move into B17.
All right, make
All
your
right,
athletics
so-
check, my friend.
What do I need to roll?
17 total.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 12 plus my athletics is a 19.
All right, so you land in what square do you want to land?
So I am going to. You know what? I'm going to do it this way. I'll be in B16. I'll be in between the two.
Okay. All right, Morocon, you leap in, and it's probably pretty comical because you already plucked this little guy off your back. So you pluck this little dude off your back, and you throw him into the ground, and then you jump over him like it's leapfrog or something, and go ahead and make your attack roll against both of them.
Yes. All right.
He had to have done a superhero landing, though, right? Like, boom, one knee on the ground.
Yeah, or one fist on the ground, something like that. Yeah, I'm sure. He's a clunk, so I'm sure it's very, very artistic.
It's Morocon, y'all.
All right. So I rolled a 15. What did I need to hit? What do I need to roll? It attacks reflex.
Okay, so their reflex is only 15. So did you roll a 15 on the die?
Okay. Oh yeah, plus my attack bonus. It's a dirty 20.
All right, so roll again, and let's see if you hit the one below, number 3.
I rolled a 14. So yeah.
Okay, so you hit twice. All right, now you only roll damage once, but they're both going to be hit by it.
All right. Yeah. And of course I'm using Stone Fist, so plus 10.
Okay. All right, you can only apply that plus 6 bonus to one of the guys that you hit. So do you want to do it on the one
Okay.
above you or below you?
I will do it to the one above me.
Okay, so how much to that one? That's the one that's you're leaping over. How much to him?
So I rolled a 7, and he gets the plus 6 as well. So
17.
Okay. Did you add your damage bonus, your monk damage bonus?
I didn't. So
All right, so add that to your
that would
7.
be 21.
All right,
Or
okay.
21.
That's going to hurt. All right,
11.
Ouch.
so is it 11 total or 21 here, bro?
It's 17.
It's
You rolled a
17.
7. 17, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
The other guy
I
takes
can math. I
11
promise.
though.
Okay,
Yeah, the other guy takes 11.
all right. Boy, it's ugly. So what does
So
that
I'm
look
gonna
like?
flip over these guys. So I'm gonna flip over that dude, and I'll land heroically, and it's going to be like a bi-directional E Honda type of.
Okay, so Morocon leaps in between them, and Gizik and Lachlan, it's a little disturbing because he's enormous. And I don't know about anybody else, but I'm a big guy, and when I leap through the air, it tends to make people nervous. So Morocon leaps through the air. Gizik, you and Lachlan are probably like, oh! But he lands perfectly, completely in control of his movements, and his fists are just flying, and you're going like this as he hits. You're like boom, 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 and the red caps are like whack, whack, whack. Their fists through, and he just pounds into both of them viciously. It looks like if either one of you hits either one of them solidly, you might drop them. FYI.
It's like you're watching a tennis match.
Very nice. It was pretty ugly. All right.
And the crowd goes wild.
Yes, and there is screaming and cheering from the crowd. It's like, look at it, hit it in the face. It's beautiful. Like, it just all kinds of beautiful reaction from the crowd. Okay. Now they're a little bit concerned, Moroccan. Gizik clawed one of them, but you almost killed them. So they are... Oh, dear. They're going to both try to use their sanguine glamour on you.
On me?
On you, Moroccan, because you're mean.
They are both in the... Actually, I think they're both in the range of my... they're both in the range of my defender aura. So they're marked.
Ah.
Alrighty. Well, Lachlan, in that case, they're both going to go for you. What is your will, Lachlan?
Congratulations.
My will...
Thank you for drawing that attack. I really appreciate
will
you drawing
16.
it away from me.
Your will is 16. All right, Lachlan. Oh, a natural 1. Miss. Very nice.
Yeah.
And the other one missed also. So, Lachlan, they both look at you and realize that you're kind of threatening them with your sword and with the aura. And they both just throw their hands out, and this like red mist flies into your face, but you manage to either resist it or deflect it. So what does it look like?
I think he just cuts through it with his sword. Even though the sword might not actually be blocking it, it's kind of that the focus for his will.
Okay.
And it's just like he kind of looks at him like, is that it?
Yeah, and boy, did they just both waste their turn. So they both used their sanguine glamour, and that's an encounter power. So they blew smoke, and it didn't really do much good.
Woot.
Okay. Bummer for them. You used your encounter power. Okay.
Kill him, Gizik.
Okay. And that would be the two of them, and they're the only two red caps who are currently alive at this time. So now it would go back up to the top. Okay. Endurial,
Hey, wait, isn't there a red cap at B10?
Yeah, there's one at B10. Red cap
there's a
4.
fourth one.
Excuse me. Yes, there is. Thank you very much for telling me that I can harm you. 6. Okay.
You're welcome.
You never want to
Lachlan?
tempt fate. She comes back and bites you every time.
That's very true. She will. She'll cut a bit. Anyway. Okay. Moroccan, what's your will, my friend?
My will
Your will
is 16.
He's leaving everything to me. That's his will.
Okay. Moroccan, you get hit. You take 11 points of psychic damage.
Don't I
And
get
you-
psychic?
You do.
Resistance?
You do have, I believe. Actually, I don't think the amulet grants you psychic resistance. What it does is grants you a save if you are affected by a power. And unfortunately, that is not what this power does. So this bad boy does the same thing, throws out his hand, and it's like a little cloud of blood covers you. And for a minute, Moroccan, you're just crazed and enraged. And now you have to take a melee basic attack against Lachlan.
What?
Typical dragon.
What damage did I take?
You took 11 points of psychic damage,
Okay.
and you are going to have to make a melee basic attack against Lachlan.
Okay. And what a good time to roll a 4.
All right, so you add your melee basic attack, and I gave that to you. It's right above your daily power, your melee basic.
Oh, right.
So
So that's not cool.
So-
So it's a 12.
yeah, but I don't think Lachlan has a 12 AC. Is that your AC, Lachlan?
No, my AC is an 18.
All right.
Ooh. Well, that's good.
Moroccan's eyes are filled with blood, and he momentarily looks at you, and he's like, "Ugh," and he takes a swing at your face.
Lachlan just grits his teeth and sings louder. Onward, Christian!
Okay. So just maybe a little variation as to onward Christian. So okay. Very nice. Alrighty, and that would be the Red Cap's turn. Okay. I think that will bring us to our close, so we will pick right back up with combat next time, gentlemen. We will pick up next time with the Butler's turn. And Anduriel, I'm just going to let you know that Butler, he is charging right at you. And he is easily as big as Gizik, and that club of his looks like maybe it does 3d8. You don't know. I'm just guessing.
That'd be a nice weapon for Anduriel to pick up after this one.
Yeah, so there you go. All
Can
right,
he lift
cool.
it?
So for those of you,
Vampire, doy.
okay, he's quite strong. He's very strong. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time tonight on Holy Rollerz, we're all people of faith here, and we like to do a little inspirational message at the end of our show. Sometimes it's just an inspirational thought. Sometimes it's a thought about what's going on in the world, and sometimes it's a scripture. Sometimes it's a quote from someone we really admire. Sometimes it's just a clever observation. So tonight, Jeff has our Consider This moment. So take it away, Jeff.
All right, well, this time it's based on something I stole from Facebook, or
Okay.
that somebody posted on Facebook. So a lot of the time we look at things like singing and dancing or making art as skills that we have to get good at, not as basic human behaviors that we all need to do. I mean, not everybody needs to do all of it, but it's basic things that we can do that can be really therapeutic and just really help us out. And really, we all have basically an innate drive to be creative and make things. And when we treat it like a skill, which it is a skill as well, but when we treat it like that, sometimes we're afraid of even trying because it's not going to be very good. What we really need to be able to do is just forget about that, be willing to suck at it, and just do it. And, if you do that, maybe you'll get better, maybe you won't, but either way, you'll be doing something that's good for you and something enjoyable. So, don't be afraid to get out there and suck.
I think that is a wonderful, wonderful message. Don't be afraid to suck. And I'm not.
And it might be singing or dancing, or it might be role playing. Just get out there and enjoy it.
Yep.
Very cool.
I love that. So often people get held back just because of there's barriers in your own mind as to what you can accomplish. And once you step outside of that, it opens up a whole new world of things that you can achieve. So that's a great thought.
Anybody else?
Yeah, there's a number of activities that people can do that really would force someone to step out of their comfort zone. It really could be anything, and all it really takes is just like a leap of faith. And then one, you'll find out that you're not as bad as you think you could. You're not as bad at it as you think you are. And two, that everything requires some sort of effort to be able to even come close to mastering something. It takes effort.
Agree.
I also don't think you learn much from success. It's fun to succeed, but you learn from failure. And so fail a lot. You'll learn.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I think it's good. And by the same token, I think how we react to people who do fail is one of the things that determines whether or not people feel comfortable failing in front of you again. There are two of us are educators here, and all of us have been in a position to be in a teaching position in our church. But one of the things that I think that we can help with that is to encourage people and let them fail in front of us, and how kind we are to them, I think, can determine whether or not they feel like it's okay to fail again. And I think as parents, that's doubly important. So I love that thought. Don't be afraid to fail. Fail gloriously. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you for everybody who tuned in tonight. Thank you. It's Cliff Gaming for coming in and rating us. We really appreciate it. It was good to see you. And thank you. That's our show.
For any of the new people tuning in, we are running a contest. If we get some followers on YouTube, what was the number again?
It's Sage of Sorcery Productions. If you search Sage of Sorcery Productions, you'll find all of our episodes.
Yeah. So find us on YouTube. Join the channel, and we are going to be giving away one of these awesome dice vaults here.
Yep.
They're actually really, really cool. You'll get your own version of that. You can have whatever you want on the front, but just a little bonus outside of watching us and being a part of us, you get to have one of these cool little things. So.
Yep. So just subscribe to the channel. We're only 10 people away from the 50 that we said we would give it away at. So help us spread the word, if you would. Help us spread the word on Twitter. Tell your friends. Subscribe to the Sage of Sorcery Productions YouTube channel, and you could be entered. You could enter in to win a beautiful dice vault that John Gaitan will customize a little bit for you, so you can have what you want on the cover. And yeah, so thanks for reminding us about that, JT. Appreciate it. John, we love you. Thank you. And I think that's it for tonight. Yes?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good night, everybody, and thanks for tuning in. Adios.
Guys.
Right.